I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth. And look, man, hats off to the Dodgers. They're the champions of the world, champions of Major League Baseball. And I stayed up late last night to watch Game 5. And I got to give, first and foremost, I got to give a big shout out to my guy, Mets fan of the podcast, Chef Calvin Wright. He hit me up on last Saturday, and he simply said, Dodgers in 5. Now, if you listen to my MLB playoff preview episode with Cedric Warren and myself, I said Yankees in 7. He said Dodgers in 7. And yeah, egg on both of our faces. More egg on my face than said, because he got the correct pick. But, you know, I was thumbing through my Twitter timeline as the Dodgers recorded the final out. And another friend of the pod was tweeting in jubilation. And I was like, you know what? Let me get him back on the pod to go over these thoughts in his head while they're still fresh, and you know the plastic just came off of the package. So without further ado, you know him, you love him, multiple time guest, host of Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers, ladies and gentlemen, Dodger fanatic, celebrating a World Series championship. My guy Brandon Silvers is back in the building. Brandon, what's good, man?
Everything is good, Danny. I appreciate you having me on.
Yes,
this is fan. This is what you felt like last year. Oh
man,
my
and
what
we're gonna do is we're gonna go game by game on the during this World Series matchup between the Dodgers and the Yankees. And yeah, man, that's a good feeling. That is a good feeling. I finally got to experience that after literally waiting 30 damn years. And I tell you, the payoff, nothing like that payoff. Nothing like that payoff. But it ain't about the Rangers tonight. It's all about the Dodgers. So how you feeling right now? What were your feelings after when they recorded their final out?
I am still completely stunned. Like, this was not within the realm of possibility for me entering the season. I know we were on the MLB preview, the beginning of the year, super hype about signing Shohei, obviously, but me and Brett, who was on there too, another Dodgers fan, my best friend, we were like, okay, we got like a World Series on layaway when Shohei comes back and is pitching. Nothing like that in my mind this season, especially as the season played out. You got guys dropping with injuries. We got to go to the bullpen games because we don't have enough starting pitchers. Just wild stuff. And I listened to the playoff preview that you and said did, and y'all kept advancing the Dodgers. And I was like, what are they on? What are they on? But I got to give it to y'all, man. Y'all had it. Y'all had it. Extra shout out to Ced for getting the winner.
Matter of fact, I think in the season preview episode, I want to say, I think you and I both picked, I think it was Dodgers and Baltimore in the World Series, correct?
I believe so. I was picking a lot with my heart over my head as well. I will come clean today. I did not truly believe that. But I'm glad that it worked out that way.
Again, nothing like your team winning a World Series whenever you're really not expecting it. And then on top of that, you're watching game by game and your nerves are just on edge because, you know, the stakes are can't get any higher than the World Series. So we're going to get into the World Series. So we're going to start with the game 1 on last Friday night, which another instance in which I stayed up longer than I intended to, but man, that game was an instant classic. Dodgers won 6-3 in storybook dramatic fashion. So what were some of your takeaways from that game 1?
So, crazy thing about game 1, you mentioned the nerves of the World Series. I was very tightly wound, and I haven't really got like this about sports in a long time. I try to keep sports as like a happy place now, but I was like somewhat stressed. I think a lot of it was Flaherty was a starting pitcher. I like him, but he's good like 1 every 4 starts for us. And so I was nervous about him going out there. And so I had another friend hit me up, was like, I'm going flounder gigging. You want to go flounder gigging? Checked out the time. I was like, let's go flounder gigging. I can listen to the game on the radio. We'll be back in time for the final innings. That way I don't have to sit there and stress the whole game. So I was like, okay, I'm going to protect my peace. Get back later than expected. And then I'm like checking it out on my phone, at the ESPN app. And I was like, wait a second. I messed up the timing and everything. I got to make sure we're paying attention. And it's in the 10th inning. And Shohei's on. They walk Mookie. I'm listening to it on the radio. They walk Mookie. The first pitch, Freddie homers. It was so weird sounding it with the bases loaded. They walked Mookie to load the bases. The first pitch homer, I did not believe it had really happened. I thought they were playing a replay of an at-bat from earlier this season. I didn't even react. I went back to the score app and saw that was actually live. And then I hopped on Twitter and lost my mind. I'm scaring the fish back alive and everything that we had caught, man. I could not believe it. I went on Twitter and caught the replay of him doing it. I just couldn't believe it.
I mean,
I
he
was stunned.
Smoked that first pitch too. And when they walked back, I was like, boy, oh boy, what in the hell is Boone doing? And especially when he brought out Nestor Cortez, who hadn't pitched in forever. Yeah. And it went just about as bad as I expected it to. And yeah, Dodgers get game 1 6-3. Yeah. And they also, early in that game, they had an issue with the fan interference from the Dodgers fan, and which resulted in a double from Gleyber Torres, which, I mean, it's inconsequential at this point. But Dodgers, they take game 1 and take a 1-0 lead. Then game 2 the next night. Oh, man. Freddie Freeman. Yeah. Yes.
So I'm locked in for this. I'm locked in for this one because I'm like, my guy Yamamoto, I love watching him pitch. Just like aesthetically, just a really like aesthetically pleasing pitcher to watch. So I'm there, I'm locked in. And then Freddie, he just doesn't stop hitting homers. I was like, this dude has got it. Especially we had just seen this man hobbling around with a bum ankle. And I was like, who is his doctor, man? I would be all on TV talking about that's my patient. I couldn't believe like this dude was crushing it again.
And I don't know, he hits a solo shot, and then Teoscar Hernandez hits a shot. And yeah, the aforementioned Yamamoto, man, he had a super solid outing, which resulted in a 4-2 Dodgers win. So they take a 2-0 lead. And then game 3, again, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah. Again with Freddie. This one, like, coming away with this win, then you know the math, right? Like, no one's come back from down 3-0 to 0-3 to win. So feeling pretty good, but you don't want to be that team.
Yep.
I believe it was Walker Buehler, who started that game. So I was a little nervous going into it because I know with the two Tommy John surgeries I believe he's had a rough time like figuring it out with that. Like it doesn't quite have the zip that he had. Has to really focus more on his command. But he looked really good that night. And so I was like, he looks good. Freddie's home run again. Up 3-0.
Yeah. And I mean, Buehler was dealing that night. He had just an outstanding command of his fastball that night. And again, Freeman hits a home run. Mookie Betts got a blooper for an RBI. Kike Hernandez got in on the RBI action. And yeah, they take a 3-0 lead with back-to-back 4-2 wins. And then game 4. And yeah.
So that one, you kind of know, as I mentioned, we have to do the bullpen games. I believe we lost the bullpen game against the Mets as well. Somehow beat the Padres up against the wall elimination. So San Diego, y'all kind of sorry for losing, knowing what I know now. And then from the jump, you could see the guys just didn't really have it. I mean, you give up a grand slam to
Yeah.
Volpe. That's your sign right there. The thing that I did like that Dave did, and shout out to Honeywell too. He just let that man stay in there and just you're just gonna have to take this L on the head. Didn't matter how many runs he gave up that last bit there. He was like, you just got to do it. He saved our best relievers for the next game,
Yeah.
and we saw how that turned out. Definitely needed them. But that was just really smart managing by Dave, in my opinion, because that game, that was a lost cause. You got all these other games. You got 3 games left to win one. Don't sell everybody out in this
and
one game.
Also, in that loss was the big time fan interference ordeal with Mookie Betts. And just the doofy look on that Yankee fan's face when he's trying to snatch the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove. I'm like, these dudes here, man, get their ass out of here.
ESPN's interviewing them. They're going around acting like celebrities. Now, look, I'm not going to pretend that Dodgers fans are angels. I watched the Padres series, and we saw the interference earlier in the World Series. I know how sports fans get crazy. No fan base is completely pure. But the way that they were celebrating when it turns out the fans had more fight than the team had, that was lame to me. I was like, this dude's holding up Mookie. It was so blatant.
So they get their one win in Game 4. They won 11-4. And then the game to seal it, Game 5. Again, Yanks looked like they were in cruise control, took a 5-0 lead into the 5th, and then the wheels proceeded to fall off the bus. Man, they flat out shit the bed in the 5th.
Could not believe it. Again, Flaherty pitching. Y'all know how I feel about that by now. I was out on a boat to avoid seeing him do it, respectfully. But I watched him this time, and immediately you see, okay, he doesn't have it. Didn't even make it, made it 1 1/3.
Yeah.
Buddy, game just started. People haven't even got to their seats yet, and you're out. And so I'm like, well, I think I even tweeted, all right, it's time for me to go watch Survivor, because this is just not, I'll see y'all Game 6. So watch Survivor, and about to go to bed. Now, what was weird, I'm not very superstitious, but for some reason this game, I was very superstitious. I don't know what happened. Normally during the games, I'm texting with Brett throughout the game. I did not text him this game. Shameless plug from my weekly sports watch guide. I had typed up this week's issue, and I had left out the Game 6 and Game 7 because I was like, we're going to win this, as though it could inspire the team. But then in the second inning, I had to go and type it up for Game 6 and Game 7 because I was like, this game's over. So let me go ahead and get that in there. It goes out Thursday morning. I'm not texting Brett, but I do want to communicate with Brett. So I've got my girlfriend texting Brett. And so she's keeping in touch with him about the game. Survivor ends. I'm like, well, I'm getting old. Time for me to go to bed. And she's like, hold on now. Something's going on in the Dodgers game. I was like, I'll check it out and we'll see what's going on. Turn it back to the Dodgers game as they're showing the replay of Aaron Judge dropping the most routine Little League fly balls. And I was like, wait a second. Still not a close game, but something might be happening here. Maybe all my superstition is paying off. And then you're right. They just completely fell apart, just unraveled.
Yeah.
I've never seen an inning like that. That was crazy. Throwing the ball in the dirt to third.
Both.
Like, oh my goodness.
And then they end up tying. They end up each trading runs. So it's tied 6-6. And then Mookie Betts, again, coming through in the clutch, hitting the go-ahead sac fly in the 8th to take the 7-6 lead. And that was enough to preserve the victory and to secure their 8th World Series title. Your 2024 world champion, LA Dodgers. And this is right off the heels of Fernando Valenzuela's passing too. So it felt like divine order.
Yes, in that 81 World Series, when he had Fernando Mania, they beat the Yankees in that World Series. And so it kind of made you wonder, you know, I'd make a lot of references to the movie Angels in the Outfield. How did Aaron
Yes.
Judge drop that fly ball? Like, you saw the fly ball. This is nothing. I could have caught that without a glove. And I did not play baseball like that. And he just dropped it. And then Volpe, for some reason, I became a Volpe hater this World Series. Seems like a perfectly nice person, but the way they were talking about him as the next Jeter, I was like, I'm tired of hearing about this guy. And the Grand Slam too. But then he throws in the dirt. That was a tough play, but he spikes it in the dirt going to third. And then what was it? Like, Garrett Cole was gassed. Anthony Rizzo did not want to sprint. They get that little infield single, and they're just staring at each other.
Yeah.
Like the Spider-Man meme almost. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it. Just incredible. I'm trying to think. See, you got me all hyped up again. The 8th inning, Blake Trinan in the game. He's in trouble. Dave Roberts comes out. Got just doesn't look bothered at all.
Both.
I'm thinking he's coming to take Blake out the game. He comes in. No, he tells Blake, you are a bad motherfucker or something. I don't know what he told him. But like, you got this. And he did. And I was like, this is crazy. And then having Walker come in and close it out like that. Whew, you can see.
Yeah, and then when they said Walker Buehler was warming up in the bullpen, I was like, oh, man, it's gotten real.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just, you could tell he was hyped up because they were talking about it too. The velocity was there, but you could tell he was just a little bit off, but then he got it dialed in, and then it was the bottom of their order. So you feel pretty confident going against them. And Verdugo, he showed up with 2 outs, and you just could tell by his demeanor, if the ball was within like 6 feet of the plate, he was going to swing at it. Didn't matter, but he wasn't going to go down looking at it, but he also probably wasn't going to make contact. He struck him out on that curve.
And that was that.
I lost it.
And
it was incredible.
Felt so good for Freddie Freeman, considering all the things that he went through this year with his injuries and also off the field with his son. And I know that had to feel like such a tremendous victory for him. Man, and I tell you what, he was very well deserving of that World Series MVP, because he just put that team on his back, and he played out of his mind. Him and Mookie Betts. And shout out to Betts for securing his 3rd ring. He's having such an amazing career. He really is.
He's that dude. Mookie is that dude. Like, I love Mookie. His demeanor, dude's never rattled. Even handled the fan interference thing very well in the post game. Like, just a hell of a guy. He should be a much bigger star. And yeah, Freddie having to focus with his son's illness, like you said, and I don't even know how you do that, but he just kept showing up. They came out today and said that he'd also like hurt something in his rib in between announcing his ankle was healthy and the World Series starting or something. Like, how is this dude doing this when he's injured? I don't understand.
So, any final remarks? Any shit talking you want to do? Floor is yours.
Yeah, the 2020 World Series is now certified legitimate World Series win. Even though it was a shortened season, we've proven we can do it again. We did it like this. We got Shohei coming back. The future is super bright. Strip the Astros of that World Series, please. Shout out to KP. I'm tired of y'all cheating, and the Dodgers would never cheat. We're very honorable people. Shohei did not gamble. He never placed a bet. I vouch for him. And people, I hear people complain. I've had an up and down relationship with baseball myself. People complain there's too many strikeouts and it's either strikeout or home run, strikeout or home run. Look what won this World Series. Like, it was manufacturing runs, it was defense, it was the little things that people enjoy or say they enjoy from back in the day. Like, that stuff still is here. It still matters. And if you didn't watch this, especially everyone who was complaining, oh, Yankees, Dodgers, tell your owner to get their money up. Number one, they got money, spend it.
Yes.
Baseball is fantastic, though. That was amazing. It was amazing. Look, I'm a basketball fan first and foremost. The beauty of baseball versus a basketball or football, the tense moments in baseball can happen at any point during the game, and there is no there's no stated endpoint for when the tension will be over. You know, if a basketball game, all right, coming down to 10 seconds left, same thing with a football game, 2 minutes, here we go. Baseball, that whole game was 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter from the fifth inning on. It was incredible. My heart, I done lost 7 years off my life watching.
Yes.
That. You can't tell me baseball's not exciting.
I'll tell you what, the Yankees probably would have won the World Series had they signed Caitlin Clark, but that's neither here nor there.
Look, I didn't want to be the one to say it, but Danny,
somebody in the comments is echoing my sentiment.
You know?
I can damn near guarantee it. At least somebody from Iowa is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, make her the face of the league. Make her the face of Major League Baseball. Do the right thing.
Oh man, this is awesome, man. I'm glad I could get you back on. You know, while the moment is still fresh, and we could give a synopsis and simultaneously pop your shit. So let the people know where they can find you, man. Plug away.
First of all, I do have to say, fuck the Padres. But no, Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Let me make sure I got the Twitter handle correct, because I do change that from time to time. If you like sports, you like culture, everything where it overlaps there, you're going to love Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers. Danny's on there a lot. If you like Danny, come through. Got Women's College Hoop Preview. That's going to be dropping on Monday. Follow me on Twitter at @1 Brandon Silvers. Follow me on Instagram as well at the Brandon Silvers. I post all my stuff there, whether that's from the podcast, whether that's from my blog that has the weekly sports watch guide. Give you a little taste of that. I tell you what to watch. I give you some fun information. A couple weeks ago, Kansas City Chiefs, they have a tackle by the name of Wanye Morris, named after Wanye Morris from Boyz II Men. In addition to giving you this information, I gave you the best Wanye Morris ad-libs, according to me. So I gave you a list of that. You know where to watch the Chiefs game. You know the Chiefs have a tackle named after the lead singer of Boyz II Men.
What more could you ask for? You know what more could I ask for? If the Chiefs had Caitlin Clark at wide receiver. But again, that's neither here nor there. And with that, I will say, thank you for listening to At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. Make sure you like, download, and subscribe to At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Danny Foxworth 843. Matter of fact, Brandon, what's your YouTube channel so they can subscribe to your channel too?
Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers.
Yes.
Boom. Subscribe.
We work hard
we
for you, for your eyes, not only your eyes and your ears.
Yes.
And you can also find me on IG at Danny Foxworth 843. And you can also find me on Twitter at Danny Foxworth 843. But there's only one O in the Foxworth because of character limit. Yeah, thanks, Elon. It's Danny FOXWRTH 843. Only one O. And for Brandon and myself, this has been another episode of At the Plate with Danny Foxworth, a victory World Series champion LA Dodgers episode of Since We Last Spoke. And until next time, y'all be good. 3 strikes.